Hi everyone, it's Margie Young again, and this is part 3 of our kombucha lessons. Today we are going to bottle and flavor our kombucha. Okay, so supplies today for bottling will be 6 bottles of your choice. I like these Grolsch swing top bottles. They seal up really nice and they hold all the carbonation in. I really like them a lot. They're nice and heavy. You can use bottles that you have gotten kombucha in before with the plastic tops. You can even use plastic soda bottles if you want. I really like these, and they clean up really nice, and I just run them through my dishwasher with no detergent, just hot water, and make sure that they're super clean. And then when I pour out of them, I just make sure that they're rinsed out really well so there's no gunk sticking on the inside that's hard to wash out. So then we have juice. Today I'm going to try mango. I haven't tried this one before for my kombucha. And then we have our fermented tea with our beautiful big mature SCOBY sitting on top. A measuring cup, glass of course, and then a funnel and something to put your SCOBY on while you're pouring your tea. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the SCOBY out of this jar. This is my 1-gallon jar. My hands are clean. I've washed them and rinsed them in hot water, and then I actually rinse them with vinegar so I don't have any antibacterial soap residue on my hands. So we're going to take this out of here, and it looks really weird, you guys, but you just reach in and you squeeze it and you just pick it up. And I'm going to set it right on this plate. So there, and then we can set that aside for now. So then, because we're flavoring our kombucha, you don't want to use too much of the juice, otherwise you're going to end up with more carbonation than you want. You might blow up your bottles. So what I do is use about 1/3 of a cup in each bottle. So I'm going to measure that out. So I have 1/3 of a cup of juice in each of these bottles. So you can see it's not really very much. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go over here to our tea. And first thing I'm going to do is take out about 2 cups of this tea and set it aside and leave it by itself. We're not going to flavor that one. So I'm going to do that. So now I have 2 cups of reserved tea, the remainder of the gallon of fermented tea that we have, and we have these 6 bottles with the juice inside. I'm going to give this tea a stir with my clean spoon, and we're going to stir up all of there might be some yeast and bacteria deposits on the bottom. We want to make sure that that's all mixed in with the rest of the tea. I can just set that right there. Then we're going to take and we're going to fill our bottles. Whatever means you decide to use for filling your bottles. I usually just use a funnel and my measuring cup. I measured juice in this, but since we're mixing the tea with the juice, it's not going to matter. So I'm going to fill my bottles like this. So now we have 6 bottles, and these are in what we call a second ferment. These have the mango juice in them. So then what you want to do is take these and put them in your cupboard. Don't jostle them, don't shake them. Just leave them in your cupboard. I'm finding anywhere between 3 and 5 days, and you can open them and taste them. And the key is when it gets to a flavor that you like, then put them in the fridge. I mean, they're drinkable as they are right now, but they will be very sweet because of the mango juice that we just put in. But they're drinkable. It's safe. It's whatever. So what you want to do is ferment them, and then you can burp your bottles if you want. It just lets out a little bit of the built-up carbonation. I usually open one at about 3 days and taste it, and if it's what I like, then I put them all in the fridge, and if it's not, then I let it go another day and taste it the next day. So that's that. And then you have your SCOBY and your reserved tea for your next batch. So you brew your sweet tea again, and then you pour in the starter tea, and you put your SCOBY on top, you put your cloth on the top, and you start the whole cycle again. And if you want, each time you brew a new batch of tea, you'll get a new SCOBY, or you'll find a layer that you can peel off of your other SCOBY. And you can start 2 batches that way. So what I've done is I've started staggering my batches in this big jar, or in 2 big jars like this. So I'll have them spread about 3 days apart, 4 days apart, however long it takes me to drink my kombucha, because otherwise it takes up a lot of room in the fridge. So I try to time it so that when this batch of kombucha is gone, I'm taking the ones out of the cupboard and putting them in the fridge and then brewing a brand new batch. So that's how that works. So now I have all of my bottles in my cupboard, and I wanted to mention something about dating too, and this works for me, but it might not work for others of you. I put on the row of bottles, I put the date that the tea itself was started on the bottle row, and then underneath here, I put today's date for the date that I bottled it, so that I can see how many days were between starting the tea and bottling the tea, and then I can tell how many days it's been since I bottled it, because I don't like to try to remember all that stuff. So this just helps me kind of timing wise, and I have found that the differences in fermenting the plain tea a little longer is different than cutting it off a little shorter. So it's all kind of based on your tastes and how long you like to let things go, and you'll get to know that as you start brewing your tea.